Hi friends, host Eric here, host Talking with Famous People. This video is called Family, Friends, FE, and what it means to care about people. So, Margie said something the other day in a comment that struck me as really true and resonated with me personally. Specifically, what she said was that ENTPs are at their best, or NE DOMs are at their best, actually intuition is at its best, when in the service of others. I wouldn't put it that way exactly, but I agree with it. I would put it something like I'm at my best as a human being when I'm directing my energies towards making things better for other people. And the reason I wouldn't call it in service of others is because in its ideal incarnation, it's symbiotic. It's mutually beneficial. I gain as much as I take from anything that I'm attending to that is concerned with the optimization and well-being of other people. I've become increasingly focused, thusly, as I've become more optimally functioning. Kimberly's had a huge impact on me in terms of changing me into a calmer, more caring, and just generally more whole and realized version of myself. And sometimes that means taking a course for me that's really difficult. In this case, what I'm talking about is the ongoing developing narrative related to Kim's family, my family, and her relationships with her relatives. She's she's not had the same history as I have. The history I had was one of a family that stayed together, a small family that's very tight and can count on each other, to have each other's backs, to be there, and to prioritize each other's interests above other interests. Treat each other fairly and lovingly to the extent that we can. Um, Kimberly's experience has been very different. She's had she had a rough childhood. She had an abusive stepfather. She had a mother who was not doing anything about it, trying to pretend that it was Kimberly's problem. She's got extended family that has excommunicated over a video I made and was always threatening to withdraw their love and support and affection. She's got an extended family in general that's, as far as I can tell, um, mostly preferred her to be down where they could shit on her and judge and hold her as less. At any rate, it's been quite some time since I upturned that apple cart, and what I've seen in the interim has been a lot of avoidance and cowardice from everybody on that side of the family. Um, I know that I made mistakes coming into this situation, but it really saddens me to see Kimberly suffer at all or be disappointed by anybody. You know, her mom said she was going to come to this barbecue where my parents came, and Delilah was there. It was for Delilah's birthday, and she just didn't show. And then, when called on, she's like, "Oh, I thought you said bullshit." Die, motherfucker! Fucking flies. I gotta stop cursing. Now, if you curse in videos, YouTube makes them non-monetized. Anyway, but I've got to deal with reality as it is. So I don't know if these people are watching my videos or not. If they're gonna watch this one and further judge, further cast aspersion, or maybe I'm being too harsh on them. I don't know. All I know is that when people come together and communicate openly and freely and directly, good things happen. I've seen it in talking with famous people. I've seen the way it's impacted me. I've seen the way it's impacted other people. I've seen the way this community and this approach towards living has impacted Kimberly. I'm nobody's guru at all. Let me make that clear. I have no universal answers for anybody, but I have some experiences of my own that have shown me how I've grown against my own standard. In other words, I'm not saying I'm a better version of a person. I'm saying I'm a better version of Eric than I used to be. I'm kinder, I'm calmer, I'm more fulfilled, I'm satisfied. And I attribute that phenomenon to metacognition and duality. First and foremost, what I had to do was start understanding the different ways that people pay attention to things, understanding the way that different people value things differently, and try to implement a method of interacting with other agents in the world that conceptualizes them as sets of attentional habits, understands therefore why they behave as they do, and anticipates how they'll respond to certain kinds of approaches. It's not manipulative, not the way I employ it anyway. I'm just looking to come to terms with realities I can't stand sometimes. I'm super upset about Taylor. I wake up often furious, just so livid at Tracy Beverlin and Under Sheriff Barrett and at the abuse of the law and the system that's occurring in Brant, Kansas, and it tears at my soul. And I'm similarly angry at Kimberly's family. Why? There's such a simple explanation for this. It's because they're not being cool. I once suggested that the league rules needed to comprise of one rule. Everybody just be cool. What does that mean? It means be able and willing to sit down and have a conversation about what you did wrong and what I did wrong. I did plenty of things wrong. And in the instances I'm talking about with Kim's family and shit, they did plenty of things wrong too. And they're still doing things wrong. And they're hurting Kimberly. Disappointing her, at least. That's something I can't really tolerate. I mean, I don't know how to explain what we have to anybody. Hi, Susie. I'm making a video right now called Friends, Families, Failures, and Fun, or something like that. I don't know. Is it your birthday today, Susie?
It was yesterday.
Oh, I meant to make a video for you yesterday. It was a weird day. I had to work 5 hours yesterday.
Oh my god.
So you'll
So
have,
much shit.
I know. And only two of them were from home. So it's like, Jesus Christ. I had a really impacted schedule. I couldn't get around to making you a birthday video. But I'm going to make you one today after I make this video. This video is not about you. It's about friends who fail. This is not about you. You are not a friend who fails. You are a friend who is there, who succeeds, who's got my back, who's got Kimberly's back. You're good people. I admire and respect you. I value your personages.
So I'm like the contrast to whatever you're talking about there.
Yes, you're the contrast to whatever I'm talking about. I'm talking about right now, Kim, my frustration at people who disappoint Kimberly, and my frustration at my own limited ability to cope with that. In other words, my gut reactions to things of anger and fighting and slamming and forcing people to be accountable are very poor tools in this context, and they don't work well. So, I'm having to cope with the fact that I'm feeling impotent here. Like, there's nothing I can do successfully to fix a problem that persists. And it is a problem. When I see Kimberly's face fall a little bit in disappointment because of a reality that involves her family, it tears at my heart, and I want to fix the problem. So I can't, though, through my normal means of busting ass. Yeah, it's like it's such a preferred methodology of interaction for problem solving, but it doesn't always work, and often enough it'll make the problem worse, as it will in this circumstance. So, um, I guess my message is, as I become more at peace with myself and spend less energy hating myself and spend less energy avoiding reality and fighting against my physical body and so forth, I begin to note that there are a lot of damaged people in the world, and that I perhaps didn't really notice that before because I was damaged enough that it made it easy to ignore. But my hope is to promote the general notion that discourse solves, that people who get together and talk it out one way or another can figure out a way to solve the problem, and the people who avoid those conversations, that avoidance comprises the bulk of the problem. Whatever the initial thing that set off the dispute, blah, 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 it doesn't really matter from my perspective, because ultimately, as long as people are still talking, as long as people are still trying to be honest with each other, as long as people are still trying to be fair, then there's no reason why reasonable people can't figure shit out. But to the extent that cowardice wins the day, and people hide and avoid, and people are terrified of me, it's weird. I think I've come to the conclusion that it's completely fair to say people are absolutely terrified of me. Not most people. I mean, most people aren't scared of me at all, because most people aren't up to no good. It's the people I try to call into account for shit that they're actually doing that scurry and hide like cockroaches. My first experience of this was my boss, who fired me and pulled a shady shit and simply ducked and hid from me. From that point forward, just would not engage me at all, wouldn't respond to any communications at all. Why? Well, because she was up to no good and I brought the light of day. She didn't like that. I've encountered it with members of Kim's family. I've encountered it with my best friend Corey, my old ex-best friend Corey, who has hidden from me for a year now plus. Why? Well, because he was up to shady nonsense and I called him on it and he didn't want to fucking hear about it. But I mean, what am I gonna do? So I mean, that's the problem. Is what are you gonna do? I'm not gonna let anybody treat Kim in the way that her family seems to often treat her heretofore. That's just not gonna happen. My job then is to find a way to both check their bad behavior and hopefully incorporate them back into her life to the extent that it's desirable for her and healthy. The holidays are coming up. I don't think she's thrilled about the fact that we don't have her family to go holiday with. We had a wonderful time, my family and I, with Kimberly here at Kimberly in my house for Delilah's party, and I think Kim would have really felt satisfied had her mom shown up as she had indicated she would, and had been able to bear witness to that event. So it frustrates me that her mom chose instead to disappoint her. Colin, I'm a lot more forgiving about. Colin's a teenage boy, and he's got other things to do, and I get it. But anyhow, that's what this video is about. If you're experiencing similar problems with family or friends, where you feel as though they're being intransigent and or avoidant. Hello. Good. How are you? You are not alone, and don't let for people who are avoidant, not dealing with things, not willing to talk to you about shit, not willing to really be honest and talk shit out. Don't internalize anything they tell you. It's all bullshit. They wouldn't be avoidant and trying to get away from you like that if they weren't up to no good. That's my experience anyway. Uh, and if anybody wants to hold me to account for anything, I'm right here. I'm always willing and able to hear others' critiques of me. I know I make mistakes. I wish I didn't. I wish I were more perfect, but I'm not. I still make a lot of mistakes. I need to be called out on it sometimes, and people do me the great service of doing so. Why does everybody keep talking about this Joe Rogan thing? I don't even know who he is. He has a podcast, right? Is he the guy who does the MMA fights? Is that Joe Rogan?
No idea.
ENTPs are obsessed with him? Well, I'm not. Is it the MMA guy? I know Joe Rogan, the MMA guy, who calls MMA fights. Is that guy?
Yeah, it's the MMA guy, UFC guy, whatever.
And he also has a podcast
Oh, that guy.
that's very popular, right?
Yeah, it's still popular, and he's
This guy.
Yeah, I know.
he was on,
That's not a very good picture of him. He looks more like the one next to it.
he looks more like my icon.
That guy. That's Joe Rogan.
Same guy.
Yeah.
He was
okay.
on Fear Factor.
Well, why are people so obsessed with him? Is he supposed to be an ENTP or what?
Yeah,
Are you still making a video?
Oh yeah. Forgot about that. Anyway, thanks, Susie. You're a good friend. And thanks to all you audience members out there for watching Talking with Famous People. I've been host Eric. It's been the arch admin herself, Susie. Neptune stepped in to provide some Joe Rogan wisdom, and Anthony's also working. Talk to you all later.